global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happenings today. In the week of Sunday Igboho, that's aka Sunday Adeyamo's release, a lot of things are being done very speedily for Nnamdi Kanu. Of course, there are human rights suits already ongoing, and his lawyer, special counsel, have decided also to buttress point on what is happening in Benin Republic. We're going to share all this and throw more light on that. But before we do that, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you'll see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Let us start first with what the Nnamdi Kanu's human rights suit has done. Well, Nnamdi Kanu's human rights suit court adjourned case to 16th of March for ruling whether to invite Nnamdi Kanu to testify or not. Federal High Court sitting in Abuja as at 7th March 2022 has heard the human rights suit filed by Barrister Maxwell Okpara Chibuike before Justice Taiwo Taiwo at the Federal High Court Abuja. The suit is addressing the following: 1. The subject of Nnamdi Kanu to solitary confinement by the DSS. 2. Denying him access to his personal physician. 3. Depriving him access to have his religious materials and time to practice his religion. 4. The deprivation of his right to have private discussion with his lawyers. 5. Gross violation of his fundamental human right as enshrined both in the Nigerian Constitution and African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Then the case was called upon in the court before Justice Taiwo Taiwo. The motion was heard after much deliberation by Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer Maxwell Okpara Chibuike and lawyers representing DSS and the Attorney General of the Federation. The presiding judge, Justice Taiwo Taiwo, in his wisdom, adjourned the case to 16th March, which is a few days from now, for ruling on the motion whether to invite Nnamdi Kanu to appear in court to give oral testimony or not. That would be nice to have Nnamdi Kanu give oral testimony, because the truth of the matter is he's the one facing the music. That would be nice, but the question is, will they allow him? Of course, in another news very quickly, still on the same Nnamdi Kanu, Aloy Ejimakor, on the wake of what is going on in Benin Republic, where Sunday Adeyemo, aka Sunday Igboho, has regained a great deal of freedom, even though he may not be allowed to leave Benin Republic. But then again, he can smell free air, he can move around. He's literally a free man to a great extent compared to what is going on with Nnamdi Kanu. Well, Aloy Ejimakor has this to say. He said the release of Igboho by Benin Republic has validated the universal law that self-determination is neither a crime nor an extraditable offense. If it is, Igboho would have been extradited to Nigeria. If Nigeria fails to reverse its injustice to Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, its court, that's its judiciary court, must. So if the federal government refuses to reverse what they've done, then the court should. But the question is, even if the court will there be adherence to that rule of law? Will they obey the court injunction? How many times have the court given instructions that Nnamdi Kanu be allowed change of clothing, be allowed freedom of worship, be allowed at least to smell fresh air to a great extent, even allowed to interact with one or two persons, or better still, ever since the issue of insignia, be even allowed to have one-on-one interaction with his lawyers twice a week for 3 consecutive times before the last one they were allowed to see him. Last one they were allowed to see him for 3 consecutive times. He was denied access to his lawyers. To a great extent, we got very vexed and all that. So let's get real. It's one thing to give court injunction, all right? It's another thing for it to be obeyed. Okay, first one, quick one. The Umuahia court that had a ruling in favor of Nnamdi Kanu, where 200,000 naira was given to those who, along the line of the struggle, their names were indicted, and they were indicted, and a whole lot of things went on, where the young man insisted that he was coming from an European country, but along the line during the 2017 saga, he was mad. His company broke out. They broke into his company and all whatnot. They got the 200,000 naira refund by the court, that the federal government should pay him that, or rather, as Abubakar Malami, rather, the AGF, should pay him that. We've not heard anything on that payment. The one that even makes everybody, to the point that the former Senator Sirius Tani was even telling Mazinam Kanjukola that you are now 1 billion naira richer, that he was a good person. He was not talking bad about him in his jovial manner. The 1 billion naira that was given to, or was awarded to Mazinam Kanu, up till now, it has not been given, okay, by the federal government. So it's one thing to give an order, it's another thing entirely for it to be obeyed. Severally, we have seen how well, except you don't want to tell yourself the truth, we've seen how the government of the day have really and not totally, you know, showed so much respect, quote unquote, for the judiciary arm. How would Justice Binta Nyako, given all that Mazen can be allowed to see his lawyer twice a week, and for whatever reasons, he was not allowed to see his lawyers? How would the judge, Justice Binta Nyako, give an order that Mazen can be allowed change of clothing, be allowed to feed well, be allowed to worship, his kind of religion, giving materials to worship his religion? The question is, how long or how far have they gone in compliance? So it's one thing to say, if the federal government cannot reverse itself, let the court should, even if the court will. What if it is not obeyed? Well, I guess what Aloy Jimaka wants to do is the case of just let the court reverse it first. Now, if they don't obey it, then they can now push it out of Nigeria, probably to ECOWAS or to international court, where Nigeria is a member state. Then they take it up from there. Sanctions will likely follow if they are not obeyed. But for the now, he's taking it one step at a time. Now, with all this happening, and with another court case now already instituted for Nnamdi Kanu by one of his lawyers, definitely not. This one is Maxwell Okpara, one of his team of lawyers, insisting that some of these fundamental rights that have been abused and bastardized should be addressed, and if possible, well, the judge Taiwo is wondering, should he bring Nnamdi Kanu in to give oral testimony? Honestly, I would love to see that oral testimony, and let's see how they slug it out between Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, the DSS, and the government. That's where we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our comment section. What's your take? Do have a nice